This news update is brought to you by...
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Pure happiness will be connect to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow. Pure happiness will be connect to flow.
It's Tuesday, November 3rd, and time for the Barbados Today Evening Update. I'm Fernella Wedderburn, and thanks for joining us. Barbados could be faced with a shortage of basic certain food crops in the new year if drought conditions persist. The warning from Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agricultural Society, James Paul, who says the drought situation is approaching worrying levels and is not likely to improve anytime soon. He tells Barbados Today farmers are already experiencing difficulties with certain vegetables, such as pumpkin. He says green crops such as lettuce, which need water to grow, were also likely to be in short supply as a result of the drought.
Unless we receive really above normal rains during the period of November and December and going into January, farmers will have severe difficulties at this time. They are already having difficulties with production. There are certain crops that will be affected. The pumpkin, for instance, especially in the non-irrigated areas, they will be affected severely. And I think that we have to start to look at the possibility of very challenging times early next year. In terms of the lack of water that we're experiencing right now. It is not going to be easy. Our dairy farms are already starting to complain, certainly, and especially in and that's the livestock area. And certainly, as we go into next year, I think we can anticipate difficulties.
Paul maintains the situation should serve as a wake-up call to authorities and residents, saying there was need for better water management and conservation measures.
If water levels in Barbados begin to drop drastically because of the lack of rain, I think we're going to have a problem, and I really think maybe that we need to start to seriously look at conservation efforts in agriculture. We are trying to work out an arrangement with those companies that use large amounts of water and that produce brown water that we can treat and adequately use in the agriculture sector. That is something actually that we're going to have to look at very seriously. We have identified one or two companies that do produce large amounts of water, safe water that can be reused again. That is something that we'll be looking at to see how we can do it. However, we need, of course, tankers in order to facilitate that process. But it is not a situation that we find at this point in time comforting in the sector.
And it's a month before Christmas.
And it's a month before Christmas. Yeah, some crops are going to be short, but generally, though, there's no need to panic at this time. I must emphasize that. But I still think that we need to change our water use patterns. And we need to use water in a more conscientious manner at this particular point in time.
Michael Marshall, who was reported missing over a year ago, has been remanded to prison until November 11 on multiple criminal offences. The 41-year-old of the Belle St. Michael appeared in the District C Magistrates Court today on 7 counts of burglary, 4 counts of aggravated burglary, 2 counts of illegal possession of firearms, 1 count of unlawful possession of ammunition, 1 count of kidnapping, and 2 counts of resisting arrest. He is accused of committing aggravated burglaries at Richmond Plantation in St. Peter last year, as well as Neil's Plantation in St. Michael and in Union St. Philip this year. He was not required to plead to the indictable charges. Marshall was one of 2 men arrested when police conducted a raid at a Belle Main Road St. Michael property on October 26. His family reported him missing back in April last year, but according to police, he never responded to numerous appeals. His address at the time was that of Castle, St. Peter. A Christchurch man is nursing injuries to the head after the vehicle he was driving plunged over a hill in Maxwell, Christchurch, following a collision with another vehicle. According to police, the vehicle driven by Anthony Bentham of Maxwell Hill in Christchurch went over an embankment and struck an unfinished building some 40 feet below. He was rescued by the Barbados Fire Service with the jaws of life and taken to hospital for treatment. Bentham received the lacerations to his face and head and complained of pains about the body. The other vehicle was driven by Patrick Callender of Caneville, Christchurch. Police are investigating the death of a man whose body was found this morning in Whitehall Main Road, St. Michael. He was found hanging over the banister of a gallery of a house. However, police are not treating his death as unnatural. Officials of the Caribbean Development Bank and the European Investment Bank today signed a letter of intent aimed at addressing climate change and energy efficiency issues. Under the agreement, the EIB will provide the CDB with a climate action line of credit to implement various projects across the region. Following the signing at CDB headquarters, President Dr. Warren Smith revealed that to date the region had used some $35 million to finance various projects.
The letter of intent, which you have just signed, formalizes a phase in our relationship that effectively started in 2011, December 2011, when EIB agreed to provide a €50 million climate action line of credit to be used to finance public or private sector climate action projects, including energy efficiency, renewable energy, transportation, low carbon technologies, development and innovation, and adaptation. The Caribbean Development Bank is pleased with the progress of the CAB. Total commitments to date amount to $35 million, United States dollars that is, or 54% of the facility. Projects include a highway reconstruction project, water supply redevelopment, dam rehabilitation, and a solar plant.
In sports, the West Indies goes up against a strengthened Sri Lanka team this Wednesday at the R. Premadasa Stadium. But not only that, they may be hampered by the absence of captain Jason Holder and Andre Russell, who were instrumental in bringing the side to the brink of victory in last Sunday's opening one-day international. Holder has been slapped with a one-match ban following the team's slow over rate in the first game, and Russell is in doubt due to an abdominal strain. The Windies need to win the second ODI to stay in contention to win the three-match series.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
We pick up with news from the region, and Haitians should know the result of the first round of legislative and presidential elections on Thursday. That's according to the president of the Provisional Election Council, which is the CEP, Pierre-Louis Aupon, who says the delay to publicize the results was due to accommodate all the complaints received by his office. The CEP said it had received some 162 complaints since the poll was held on October 25. Meantime, the people of Belize elect a new government tomorrow, and the two main parties, the ruling United Democratic Party and the main opposition People's United Party, are confident of a victory as they try to control the country's affairs. The polls open at 7 a.m. and will close 11 hours later, and the electorate will exercise their franchise at 393 polling stations across the country. Officials from the United States Embassy based in Belmopan and the Organization of American States will monitor the election, where 88 candidates, including one independent, are seeking to the nod from voters. Further afield, the presidents of Taiwan and China are set to meet this Saturday in the first ever meeting between the two leaders. According to reports, the talks scheduled for Singapore will discuss relations across the Taiwan Straits. And finally, footage has emerged showing a series of disturbances by migrants who want to leave a UK military base in Cyprus. More in this BBC report.
You can see a young migrant boy saying it's cold in the tent, that he's only got flip-flops to wear. You do see a scene, which we're not going to show you, of what looks like a man trying to hang himself before police rush in. You see also a situation where there is a migrant trying to scale the perimeter fence, shouting out the words, "We're people, not animals." So it is embarrassing. It shows that tensions, frustrations are rising at the camp. Now, not all of those people there clearly want to claim asylum in Cyprus. In fact, there is one woman in the video who says they arrived in Cyprus essentially by mistake. Many want to go on to mainland Europe, and they are clearly frustrated that they are in this camp and they're not being allowed to move on. Now, this afternoon, the MOD has just announced that 14 migrants have now been handed over to the Cypriot authorities. Some of those who have claimed asylum, and very few have, also some of the vulnerable too, whether they're children and whether, for example, it may have been the person who was seen in that video trying to hang himself, we don't know. But some have been handed over, but the majority are still in that camp in limbo.
And on that note, we come to the end of our evening update, but there's more on our website at www.barbadostoday.tv. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, our email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 101 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. There you can get all the latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.